the Ngonis in Zimba is Inkosiama Osumbeo. He is somebody who was working for, I think it was First Merchant Bank. He's not an old person, but because of the power dominance index, I know his father. Because the time his father was there, that was also the time I was working in that part of Malawi. But this one is just the son. Now their inheritance is when the father dies, the firstborn dies, the son takes over. So he's not old. But I can tell you, if we went to his headquarters today in Ngeni, you'll be surprised that when the people, the villagers want to meet him, they start crawling from there. He sits on this seat here, and then they walk on their knees from a distance. And they will sit there and do all the respect that is due to him. A young man, I don't think he's even 50. He must be around 30-something, 40. You see, that's power dominance index. You need to understand these structures. So you cannot operate and work in the northern region without understanding this. They have so much respect for their traditional leaders. So because by chance, you might find that in your organization you have one who is a traditional leader within that area. Just be assured that the workers there will obey him more than you. You might issue an instruction in the office, but if that one says, let's not do it, they will not do it. So you need to understand the power dominance index. And I also talked about, so the Hofstede one dimension, that's also an area which I want you, at least at the end of this course, to have in mind, because it prepares you for international human resources management. I talked about the individualism versus collectivism. And it also shows itself. Sometimes you think you are only punishing nonsense when you don't know that you are punishing the whole school. Yeah? Because it depends. How do you students work here? Is it on individualism or is it on collectivism? That's why you hear in secondary schools, when two students are dismissed, you find the whole school feels they are dismissed. And in the night they vandalize. Why did they do that? No, they had dismissed the two students. That's a sign of collectivism. I've heard it. You have heard students going rampant, destroying property, destroying the headmaster's office and the house, just because two students were suspended. Not them, but because they have developed a collective culture. So a wrong thing done to one student becomes something that all the students will feel this is the wrong thing to all of us. That is collectivism. Now there are some countries where their citizens behave in this way of collectivism. So you really need to be careful. You really need to be careful. At one place I was working, I carelessly called one stupid. Now stupid does not mean, it's not a bad word. Stupid, if you check in the dictionary, it simply means slow in thinking. But people think that when you say you are stupid, then it means you have really offended that person. So I said, no, I think you are stupid. Do you know what he did? What he did is to tell all the, and I was fairly just 1 month old in that particular office. So when I said, I think what you have done is very stupid, I thought that was the end. But he went and gathered his friends and said, look, the new Ghana has called all of us stupid. He says we are all stupid. And these are the people you could not just leave. So somebody came to book an appointment with me. So they went to their scene and said, can you go, we want to see him. And you should explain why we are stupid. I did not call all of them. But that's the sign of collectivism. So when I say, I know these people want to see you, there's something that they would like to explain, to get more clarification on. I said, okay, let them see me at 2 o'clock today. And I found it was a group of people ready to pounce on me. You see? I said, what is the issue? They said, no, we are very disappointed. You have just arrived at this place and you have called us, not me, you have called us stupid. So we want to know why we are stupid. And that's when I realized that they are working in a collective manner. And therefore I want to be careful. So the dimension that talks about individualism and collectivism will also help you to work in Israel. You have to understand the Israeli style of how the people come together and how they support each other. If it is individualism, well, then you'll be able to handle them fairly well, because each one takes responsibility for his or her own actions. You wouldn't have a lot of problems in the UK, because these people are very individualistic. Local as well. Do you know that in the locations where, okay, do you know when we say a low density residential area, what would be an example in the low density area? Huh? Is low density? What does low density mean?
Like there are not a lot of people.
That's low density. Right? And the houses are normally fenced and are bigger. Okay. How would you classify area 50? Is it also low density, or is it a bit medium, or is it high density? Medium density. And which locations would you classify as the high density? These are the ghettos, Mtandiri, Mtiriza, Chibirizano. Now, if I ask you, where do you find the individualism versus collectivism? Because I want you to understand these things in like simple examples. What do you find in high density? Individualism or collectivism? Collectivism, exactly. That's why if you roll vehicles, by mistake, you hit somebody's small dish, the whole community will be up against you. That's why when I'm driving in Tandil, I always make extra careful that I don't by mistake hit somebody's business, whatever is doing. And they put them dangerously close to the road and just see you. So should we just go and make high?
In areas, is it Air 24 close to Kamuzu Central?
In Chelsea, that is called in Chelsea. Kawai, Chelsea, yeah. Don't just make a mistake, because it will be the whole. The other time I made a mistake, it's also called Senti. Senti is another high density. I forgot that it's collective community. There was a little boy who was playing with my car, and I was watching from somewhere. He was to go on top and try to do this, the mirrors, playing with them. I told him, I said, please, stop playing. Then I went a little bit far again, but the boy looked around, came back to that, and was doing the same. Now I got irritated. So I caught him by the shirt and slapped him a little bit. The way he cried, it was a very big kid. He cried out of promotion, and within a short time, everyone came and surrounded him. Why are you beating this boy? Why do you sit down? I said, no, I just found, and the boy was just rolling on the ground. No, you can't beat our child simply because of this. What is this car? We can break it. And so people started running on top of the car. So I had now to apologize. And I had to give 5,000 to the boy. He was, no, he's left here. Nothing of that. It was simple like this to say, I told you not to play with my vehicle. And the boy turned that into a very big activity, rolling on the ground, crying as if I was actually hitting him. So that's what it means, collectivism. So even when you are in these areas, you have to understand such things. What would be the advantage of collective sort of culture? What would be an advantage of such type of culture? Is there any benefit for that? These are the dimensions by Hofstede. We need to understand, if we go to Israel, are the people living like in a collective or individualistic manner? What would be, how would I use the collectiveness of the people in Senti or Otago? They assist each other in terms of problems, isn't it? That is why when there is death in Italy, when there is a funeral, it's the whole community, and there are rules. If you don't go to a funeral, they will have rules set. You must have heard that in other locations, if you don't go to somebody's funeral, when the death is in your house, these people will take you to dig the grave yourself. It happens in these locations. They will say, okay, you don't appear at any funeral. Now this has happened. Please go, here are the bones. And they make you dig the grave out. They can actually also tell you to carry the dead body to the graveyard. There are punishments, there are penalties for not living collectively. And one thing that I can also tell you, in these locations, when it is time to eat, please don't refuse. Yeah. One day they will not eat your own food. Yes. Don't pretend to say, I'm okay. It is the master that at least participate, eat something. Because if you say, I'm okay, or you go to a shop and buy a drink, I can't eat that food. One day when it happens to you, they will prepare the food and in the end the people say, no, we will not eat. They will just waste your food. All of them will say, no, you don't eat food at the funeral, will also not eat. When they have slaughtered a chicken, they have slaughtered a goat, they cook the food and give it to you to say, we will not eat. Just like you don't eat at other people's funerals. So these are the rules of collectivism. These are the rules of collectivism. There are some societies where you go. I don't know, my friend, I think he's now learning. One day I'll call him and say, if you look at the Hofstede, because we used to discuss this with him, if you look at the Hofstede, what can you tell me about the Japanese? What about the PDI, Power Dominance Index? And in some societies, women are more dominant than men. So you offend women, you have offended the whole society. There are some societies where women are more powerful than men. So we talk about individualism and talk about the other dimensions that I mentioned, according to Hofstede. Yeah, so this is briefly what I wanted us to start with. I know now where the case study had a problem, but I think now from that mistake we have learned the distinction between ethnocentric and polycentric. There was another interesting question. I said, why do you think the positions, I said, why the Malawian employees are given only two positions of management? One was the human resources manager. You gave a good answer to that one as well. I just want to see if you can say that again. Why do you think the director of human resources, they chose to have the Malawian? What would be the reason? Because they know Malawian as well. The Malawian human resources manager will be able to interpret the labor laws better than them, and so on. And then I talked about what are some of the benefits of this recruitment, where the top management is from the home country, from Japan. I think communication is very easy. Sometimes in the workplaces there is politics. If they chose me to be the managing director of JTI, one of the political issues is to make me look as if I'm failing. Because I'm the one who will be directly reporting to Japanese parent country in Japan, and I'm a Malawian. They might give me the position to say, Malawian managing director JTI, Mr. Ren, I'm based there. The topmost position, and some of my managers are also Malawians. The problems we face is communication with Japan, that's the parent country, and they will make sure that I don't look like I'm working. See, these people are always clever. Then you find after 2 years, they say, no, Malawians have failed to run JDI in Malawi, so we will change. We will send our own Japanese managers. Sometimes they do it deliberately, so that it should appear that you are failing because you have no support. So the ethnocentric, one good advantage of ethnocentric is that there is cooperation between the parent country and the management at the subsidiary level, the company that is in Malawi. Because it is also Japanese to Japanese. Japanese to Japanese. You see? So these are some of the advantages, but they also have got some challenges. Sometimes these people want to bulldoze their practices to Malawi. They want to bulldoze their practices to Malawi, and they will meet resistance. Obviously, they will face resistance. Okay, so, well, I thought we should say something about that. I remember having said that today we are going to look at international human resources management in terms of we still have a few areas to go through. Recruiting and selecting staff for international assignments. Recruiting and selecting staff for international assignments. The first is, what is recruitment? You need to understand what is recruitment and what is selection. Recruitment should be understood as searching for and obtaining potential job candidates. It is searching for and obtaining potential job candidates. That's what recruitment. Job candidates. Yeah, candidates. Searching for and obtaining potential job candidates. Now, there are two main issues in recruitment and selection. There are two main issues in international human resources management recruitment issues. Let me say that again. There are two international human resources management recruitment issues.
Two or two main?
No, two.
Two international?
There are two TWF, isn't it? Not TOO. There are two. 1, 2. There are two international human resource management recruitment issues. The first issue is host government requirements. The first issue is host government requirements. The first issue is host government requirements. E.g., that's for example, there is a need for justification. E.g., that is for example, there is a need for justification as to why foreigners, there is a need for justification as to why foreigners should occupy certain positions. We should be going along together because we are in the last leg of this course. Host government requirements. Host government requirements. That's the first issue. That's recruiting and selecting in international. Host government requirements, e.g., there is need for justification. Why certain positions have to be occupied by foreigners. There was a private secondary school somewhere around Mponera where the owner preferred to recruit, I think, out of the 15 teachers, 10 were from DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. And the government came in to find justification. That's what I'm referring to. There are two international human resources development issues. The first is government requirement. The government has an interest. How many should be foreigners in this organization, in this company? How many should be foreigners? Okay, so you have to have a justification for why certain positions should be occupied by foreigners. And the case study, I think I've got a lot of case studies this time. I don't know how I will frame the examination. I'm saying the Israel issue will come in, the Japanese will come back, and this one might also come in one form or another. I think it will be a very interesting examination where I will just not necessarily say section B, but even in section A, I must just give you a small thing to say what is happening in this example. For example, if you take Salima Sugar. Salima Sugar is mainly financed by, I think, India. So already management of Salima Sugar is mostly Asian or Indian. It is the ethnocentric type. Now, the issue at hand is that who the Indians, the government is interested. The Indians that work in the Salima Sugar company, they also consider, can this not be done by Malawians? For example, I know of a situation where you had some Indians who have become just to be supervisors, literally doing nothing apart from supervising. And the Malawi government said no. I think these positions should be filled by Malawians. I sometimes refer to Homa Mission Hospital. The Dutch are they are also very ethnocentric. You know, sometimes ethnocentric, I don't like it. You see, in ethnocentric, it's like you are saying, we don't trust you, so let's do these things for you. I think it's very dominating. I don't like even these whites or these foreigners who come here and tell us that this is the way things should be done. I think we know how things should be done. We know how things should be done. So, for example, in Homa Mission Hospital, that's why everybody hates ethnocentric. Actually, when you go to Homa Hospital, you think that colonialism is still operating. Because there is that dominance. I remember there was a project where I think the Dutch government funded a project where they wanted to expand the maternity wing, the labor ward at home. I had the interest in that because I was doing an assignment. Now, because the money came from Netherlands, they sent almost every Dutch to work in that project. You even had the foreman, a Dutch, when the position of foreman should have been left on Malawi. So every morning you find them on top of the roof because it's their money. Now, what does that give us? It's like they're saying Malawians don't know how even to roof a building. And I know one thing that was very contentious is where to place the windows in the labor ward. Malawians told them, if you place these windows this side, people pass by. And you know when women are giving birth, there are a lot of sounds and there are a lot of cries. Now you need to have soundproof sort of windows. But these people from Dutch said, no, the windows should still face this side. Now what happened was people were shining in that labor hall because it was not well positioned. So the first issue in international human resources management is host government requirements. What is it that they require? You can't even go to another country sometimes without a visa. Sometimes in other countries it is a requirement that you have to send your CV. You have to send your CV and then they should approve it as well. Yeah, so the first international human resource development issue is first government requirement, the application. The governments have got a say because you're living in their country. So the fact that you're living in their country, they also have to put out certain things. Do you know that when you go to Egypt, you are not allowed to take alcohol? You also have to take that in mind. But Malawians sometimes smuggle this alcohol. Rarely do you find drinking places like you find them here.
Why?
Because it's dominated by Islam, and therefore alcohol is not something that they prefer. So you can't smuggle a bottle of alcohol. If they get it, they can actually send you back. Yeah, they can deport you. So simply because of alcohol. To them is something they don't like. That's the first issue. The second issue in international human resources management development is most companies have predispositions. I don't know what predisposition means. Predisposition means already arranged procedures for recruitment. They have predispositions. They already have got something ready for recruitment. So most companies have predispositions as to who should fill senior positions. Most companies have predispositions as to who should fill senior positions. That's the two main issues. Now after that, let me come to factors that moderate performance of expatriates. Factors that moderate performance of expatriates. I'm sure you remember the definition, the meaning of expatriate. A citizen of the first country working in the second country for an organization whose headquarters is in the first country. So a Japanese working as JDI in Malawi is an expatriate because he's employed by Japanese Tobacco International, Japan, but he's working in Malawi, Japanese Tobacco international subsidiary. So what are the factors that moderate performance of expatriates? There was a study. The study was conducted by a certain guy called Tan. So we call it Tan. So what I'm going to do when I talk about these factors is what I refer to Tan's study on expatriate failure. Tan is coming from somebody in the name. Tan's study on expatriate failure. Tan's study on expatriate failure. Tan, the name of the person is Tan, but it is his study. So say Tan. His name is not Tan. Please. His name is not Tan. His name is Tan. But because the study is his, we'll call it Tan's study. Tan's study on expatriate failure. He studied, or she, actually she studied Japanese and United States companies. She studied expatriates in Japanese and United States companies. This is her study. She studied expatriates in Japanese and United States of America companies. I don't know, girls, do you know the differences between an American and a British if they are in Malawi? Would you be able to identify them? An American and a British in Malawi. Who do you think would succeed? Okay, both of them can succeed. But who is better placed to work in Malawi between an American and a British? In your view?
British.
Huh?
British.
The British, because they colonized us, okay. I will give you the other one, the American. Do you know why the American? The Americans started dealing with black people during the slave market. Yeah, that's why they were able to choose Barack Obama. Do you think in Britain you have a black prime minister? Never. Even you remember King Charles when his mother died, he refused to grieve an African. Yes, it was all over. During the funeral of his mother, before burial, there was a clip that was whereby he was greeting people, and then when an African did this, he looked this way and passed on. And that was second. People come to say, here is the king who is coming in, who doesn't want to handshake a black man. And yet, you remember, because of colonization, Britain still rules us under the Commonwealth, because Commonwealth means all of us who were under Britain, and the head is the king. And you see, you and me, when we saw that, I think we hated him. He refused the handshake. So obviously, that has also, what I was saying, this is what, you remember, Tan, she studied expatriate failure, and she had a case study of the Japanese and United States organizations. So, contrary to what I was saying, I think it is not the British, it is the Americans. Because the Americans are a little bit more accommodative to Africans. We have lived with them for a long time. They are so accommodating that they elected Barack Obama, who is not a pure American, but he still became a president for 2 terms. I mean, but you know, British are still very conservative. As Mwenena will we just stay with them, but I think behind their minds they still don't regard us as human beings as they are. There is that difference, I think, very big difference. So he studied Japanese and US films and discovered this. So one of her discovery or findings, and he found out the following. One of his discovery was that the United States expatriate failure, the United States expatriate failure was likely, the United States expatriate failure was likely due to, the United States expatriate failure was likely due to inability to adjust to foreign culture. This is one of the findings. So it was due to inability to adjust to foreign culture. And they are moderators, and there is the process of adjustment, which I will look at when we meet again. Because study again is very important, so we need to understand it as it is. It's a good study. So first he looked at the United States, and he noted that the first problem with expatriates from the United States was their inability to adjust to foreign culture. So when we meet again, I'll be looking at the process of adjustment. The process of adjustment that she studied. We'll look at what are the moderators, what are the adjustment phase, and so on. I think we can stop there. Yeah. I think you can come and get your, just have a look at your, or you don't want to sit. You don't want to sit, you don't want, that's it. Or maybe you will be more concerned with the assignment. Or I need to yeah, definitely. And you will, because it's just you need some factors. Also, you write your name before you leave, and then I talk to her as well. I will show it. I'm showing them one by one. Ladies, can we not get another day for what we need to demand the Thomas Average? You are all busy. Today is what? Wednesday? Tomorrow? No, sir. You don't have space. Friday, you don't have space. But you are worth it. You didn't come. You remember saying you were not going to make it.
0221. Not bad. But this one, which one is the one? This one, 17, 16, and you're going down. Which one is this one? Yeah, I did see most of that. I didn't actually, I read it and then the content wasn't as good at addressing these issues. I think that's why it's like that. Here, okay? What is it? Remember, I also asked the same question. Yeah, but go for 85. Yeah, that would be appreciated. Yeah. Thank you.
okutegeera n'ebidigira gakyajja malaria.